Okay, this is Sarah Braasch. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm just going to make one last pretty quick video for tonight and then I'm going to call it a night. But I wanted to talk about the philosophy academic community and specifically moral philosophy, the moral philosophy academic community, and especially online. And what I want to say is that moral philosophy and the moral philosophy academic community is morally bankrupt. They are morally bankrupt. They are morally reprehensible. Most of them joined the mob against me, joined the witch hunt against me that almost got me killed. Most of them were very happy, immediately, without a second thought, joined the witch hunt, joined the moral outrage mob against me that almost got me killed. And what's even more disgusting about this is that they knew me. Almost everyone in the moral philosophy community, in the philosophy community in general, in the academic community in general, particularly online, they knew me, or they had every reason to know me. They knew I was a lifelong human and civil rights activist and anti-racism activist. They knew that my advisors included Jason Stanley, a well-known social justice warrior, and they knew that I worked for the Justice Collaboratory with Tom Tyler on the issues of implicit bias and police brutality, and in particular on the disparate impact on persons and communities of color. They knew me. They knew me. They had every reason to know me. A lot of them actually worked with me. Worked with me as an anti-racism activist and Yale graduate student. They knew me. They knew I worked for the Justice Collaboratory. They knew I worked with Jason Stanley. They knew I helped Jason Stanley run an anti-mass incarceration conference with Reginald Wayne Betts, the poet and attorney, and he's now, I believe he's getting a PhD in law at Yale Law School, and I worked with him on that. He gave me a signed book of his poetry, and now he's being very active in the aftermath of George Floyd's killing and Ahmaud Arbery's killing, in supporting Black Lives Matter and speaking out about this racial reckoning that the U.S. is going through. And I worked with him on an anti-mass incarceration conference with Jason Stanley at Yale Law School. Everyone knows that. Everyone knew that. If anyone didn't know or had any doubts about whether or not I'm capable of engaging in racism and whether or not I was actually the purported villain of the Living or Napping While Black incident at Yale, when I'm in fact the entirely innocent victim of the Living or Napping While Black hate crime hoax at Yale, if anyone had any questions, any concerns, any doubts, they all knew they could have called my advisor, Jason Stanley. He would have told them the truth. They could have Googled my name. And they would have known and they would have learned that actually I used my JD to help African immigrant women and their children get visas to live in France without being discriminated against. They all knew. And Justin Weinberg, who runs the Daily News, very popular philosophy academic community blog, he knew that I risked my career to fight for a black man to become a Yale professor in spring 2015. He knew that. Everyone knew that I was entirely innocent. Everyone knew that I was an anti-racism activist. Everyone knew. That did nothing to stop anyone from jumping aboard the witch hunt, moral outrage mob bandwagon against me that almost got me killed. They all knew. Everyone knew I was innocent, completely innocent. So anyway, but they're also morally bankrupt. Moral philosophy is morally bankrupt. Because these are supposed to be these great critical thinkers, right? They're supposed to be, we're these great critical thinkers. You can't defund the humanities department. You can't defund the philosophy department. You can't do that because people need these amazing critical thinkers to get us through these difficult times, to grapple with these difficult questions facing society. Who else is going to grapple with trial by Twitter and social media and the way that it's so easy to destroy the lives of innocent private citizen nobodies on social media? Who is going to grapple with these big issues? Who is going to grapple with these big issues? Well, you need the critical thinkers, you need the philosophers, and you especially need the moral philosophers. Well, apparently you don't. Apparently, the moral philosophers are crap at what they do. Apparently, they're crap critical thinkers. Apparently, philosophers are crap critical thinkers. Apparently, they're no better than the average Joe and Jane on the street. They're no better than the average Joe and Jane on the street. They're just as susceptible to joining a moral outrage mob, to getting an innocent anti-racism activist killed, to destroying the life and career of an innocent private citizen nobody, someone who was living like a hermit, like Rapunzel at the top of a tower on Yale's campus, someone with whom they had worked, just like Veshla Weaver and Chris LeBron, currently at Johns Hopkins. Veshla Weaver is a member of the Justice Collaboratory, a longtime friend and collaborator of Tracy Mears, the co-director and founder of the Justice Collaboratory, along with my former advisor, Tom Tyler. Knew me, worked with me at Yale. Chris LeBron is someone with whom I worked closely on an explicitly anti-racism conference at Yale with Jason Stanley, the Joyce Mitchell Cook Conference, honoring the first African-American woman in the U.S. to earn a PhD in philosophy, which she earned at Yale. So they all knew me. But besides the fact that they all knew me and knew me as an anti-racism activist, they're apparently complete crap critical thinkers, and they're also apparently evil. So basically, moral philosophy is just crap, and it's just complete and utter nonsense. And if universities and colleges do need, especially in this era of the coronavirus pandemic and tightening of our belts, if they need to defund one of their departments, they should absolutely defund the philosophy departments. They should absolutely defund the humanities departments. Most philosophy is crap. They're not better critical thinkers than anyone else. They're not better people than anyone else. They don't have any idea what they're talking about. Most philosophy that gets published is complete and utter nonsense. And and it's just, moral philosophy is completely bankrupt. We should probably we'll probably be better off by just getting rid of those departments at universities and colleges. And they don't know what they're talking about. They're not good critical thinkers. They don't know how to teach good critical thought. They're not better people. They don't know how to teach anyone to choose right actions. They're horrible ethicists. They're horrible moral philosophers. Moral philosophy is completely bankrupt. And also, I was going to do I'll probably do a separate video about this, but I want to talk about how, I've sort of developed a new appreciation for deontology, actually, which is the idea that, that there's an inherent dignity in the individual. But I guess that, most moral philosophers now are consequentialists, and they, I've seemed to be, the walking, talking avatar of the philosophy thought experiment about whether or not you go ahead and kill the one innocent person to sate the bloodlust of the mob. And apparently most moral philosophers now have abandoned deontology and are now consequentialists, and they agree that this is in fact the right decision, because they were very happy to sacrifice me to sate the bloodlust of the mob. They were very happy to burn me in grotesque effigy around the world, and Or at the very least, they were very happy to sit back and watch and do absolutely nothing while they watched this happen to an innocent person. That certainly didn't seem to bother any of them. So basically, my point is, I'm going to wrap this up for the night. I think I'll do more videos about the moral philosophy and the philosophy academic community and the academic community in general. But my point is, moral philosophers are evil. They're crap critical thinkers. They're just as susceptible to join a mob in a witch hunt to get an innocent person killed as anyone else. They did this to me. Most of the people who did this to me, in fact, were not ignorant of the fact that I was completely and totally innocent. They, in fact, knew me and had worked with me and knew me as an entirely innocent and lifelong and well-documented human and civil rights and anti-racism activist. So basically, get rid of the philosophy and humanities departments, especially get rid of the philosophy departments. They're not teaching critical thought to anyone. They're not teaching ethics to anyone. They're evil. They're crap critical thinkers. They don't know what they're talking about. Most philosophy that gets published and taught is complete and utter nonsense. Defund them. Yeah, you know, really. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say. I'll wrap this up. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. And I'll have my PayPal, me, and GoFundMe links below. And please, please donate to my legal fund so that I can sue Yale, the fake news press, the entire moral outrage industry. Okay, take care. I'll talk to you later. Bye.